I know this. When I read vegetable, I'm just over here talking about carrot. What is up, my beautiful people? Welcome back to my channel. I am doing so good. I'm proud of myself. Second gameplay, period, poo. Today's video, I'm going to be doing a game called Funeral. I had this actually downloaded on my computer like ages ago, and I'm finally about to play it. I honestly forgot about it until I was going through my stuff and I saw it, and I was just like, why not? You know, we did That's My Neighbor. Let's switch it up. Let's just do something that's very, very short, and I think it's an interactive horror. I'm not 100% sure. It's been a while. I looked it up, and yeah, it's only 20 minutes, so I can knock that out real fast. So let's just get right into it, guys. Make sure y'all get y'all some water, you know, hydrate. Oh, that low key scared me. Hold on, full screen it. That low key scared you, girl. What? I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Okay, it says resume. New game. You are in this bleak funeral home amidst a few other people. Okay, I click it. Do you know them? They look familiar, but you're not sure if you've ever seen them before. Well, baby, I don't know them. I always say, if I don't remember, then I don't know. If I don't remember, it didn't happen. Is it maddening, this sense of familiarity? The God English me today, guys. For some reason, you are certain that you ought to be knowing who they are, yet why can't you remember their names? The funeral service appears to not have started yet. The mourners stand before the casket, nameless and lost in thought. Lost in thought. I'm adding extra words. And who are they mourning? It seems apparently to be this man here. I don't know. You say you don't know him, but why are you even here? It completed my sentence. Okay, focus. The coffin is sleek of dark ebony. The coffin of a poor man. The picture atop it, that face. That face. Is that your picture? A sense of alarm and disorientation grips you. What is happening? How could your photo be atop the coffin? That means you dead. A knowledge rises, like the rising of some dark tide, a horrific memory. Then it recedes before you can identify it. You turn to the mourners, just a handful of people, really, about 4 or 5, hanging back in the shadows. Only 3 people are in the front row. Clearly, the dead man wasn't very popular. You approach the 3 nearest the coffin. They look at you, unseeingly, as if they are looking past you. You dead. Oh, okay, you look creepy. A woman in her 50s, bearing an... Did she just blink? Oh yeah, she's blinking, okay. A woman in her 50s, bearing an air of faint sorrow. Her eyes are distant testament to a lifetime of grief. Again, there's a sense of aching familiarity. This word is kicking my butt, y'all. You are certain that you know her, but the knowledge is locked away somehow, and you're unable to get in. You look creepy. You look like a fox, low-key. Beside her, a young man in his 30s, a guarded expression and an air of restlessness, as if he would much rather be elsewhere. What was there? The sight of him troubles you, but you're not sure why. He killed you. Beside him is a pretty young girl in her 20s. Her expression is subdued, thoughtful. The sight of her inexplicable strike you like a blow. Should I be narrating this? I'm struggling here. It takes some effort for you to regain your composure. Just as you approach them, a strange thing happens. They disappear. You're not sure what just happened. The world seems to be away from you. Now you find yourself standing before the woman. She does not acknowledge your presence. But here's an incredible thing. She does not open her mouth, but you can hear her thoughts as if she were speaking. What dark magic is this? Oh, look. Acting gig. It was so sudden, but now that I think about it, it's not so surprising. All these years, he talked about his own death and how it came about in a way none of us expected. how did he die? I'm sorry for your loss. I'm curious. How did he die? Can we get into that? It was terrible. He'd always been scared of a violent death, but at least it was quick. Although she does not directly respond to your question, her thoughts shift in the direction of your prompt. He'd always been terrified of suffering, of having some kind of nearly fatal accident, and then living with pain or living as a vegetable. He was always afraid of death, of ending up a vegetable. I know this. When I read vegetable, I'm just over here talking about carrot. Scene, back in character. Hold on. Of ending up a vegetable, and then having to physically rely on someone just to be alive. So I'm glad that he went abruptly. It was instant death. The way they talking about it seemed very much like I don't know. She's talking about this in her head. Are you okay? I'm so sorry. Let's see. Well, obviously we know she's not okay, but for the sake of just trying to get more into the story, because I don't know, I feel like if I hit I'm so sorry, it's just going to end it there. So, for the sake of the story, let's start with are you okay? The grief comes and goes. I still can't believe he's gone, even though all that has passed between us. What happened? You sensed her thoughts shifting to the young man and woman beside her. I'm more worried about them. They've had to put up with a lot. Matthew's already growing distant. He was warm for a while when he first arrived, almost like his old self. Now he's gone back into his brooding shell, like father, like son. At least Priya is thawing a little. Her thoughts fade away for an instant. It's incredible how one incident can destroy everything, tear a family apart, and keep us apart, all those years ago, and it still haunts us. What incident happened? Because I'm nosy. I realized, and now I've been avoiding thinking about that for a long time. Maybe that's how you survive. You clamp down on the hurtful memories, lock them away in a box, and never open it and never look in. Because if you do, they'll shave at you until you break. God knows it's nearly destroyed the kids. How Matthew adored his father, worshipped him really. And Priya was his princess. Okay, so is this the dad? Because she's talking about a father, but no other man was mentioned besides the boy, which I'm assuming is Matthew, and Priya, the girl. All of that an illusion, so rudely torn away. So this has to be the dad. Okay. Maybe now that he's gone, it's time to open that box and look at the terrible stuff in there. Maybe I should no longer run away from it. Her words evoke that sense of bitter agony. You want to reach out and comfort her, but you hesitate. Wouldn't that be inappropriate? You a ghost. That rule don't apply to you anymore. There's that maddening feeling of familiarity again. An ache that seems to tell you that you know this woman, and another emotion threaded through the sorrow. Shame. What did you do, sir? I don't mean to pry, but what happened? I'm sorry, it's not. No, we're being in business. We're dead. Okay, clearly you don't remember anything, so let's get to the nitty gritty. Even as you ask the question, deep dread fills you. Maybe you don't want to know the answer. Maybe you should not even ask. The woman sighs deeply, and you sense grief bubbling up inside. A wellspring of it so powerful that for a moment you fear you will be drowned in it. Soiled it. Before you can catch her thoughts, you get dragged into the deck. You find yourself standing before the young man. His hands are tucked into his pocket as he stares at the casket. He seems oblivious to others around him. I just spoke to your mother. I'm sorry about your loss. How are you holding up? Let's see. How are you holding up? He looks up, startled, looks around. He does not look directly at you. He does not acknowledge your presence. For some reason, this does not offend. In fact, weirdly, for reasons you cannot understand it, seems the most natural thing in the world. As soon as you hear his thoughts, as if in response to your question, I could have always sworn I heard something. I must have been hallucinating. I guess that's what my sleeping for 2 days does to you. As soon as this is over, I'll head back to the room, pop a couple cut, rewind. I guess that's what not sleeping for 2 days does to you. As soon as this is over, I'll head back to the room, pop a couple beads, and get knocked out. Though I'm not sure I can. What with all these thoughts? A part of me is guilty, thinking I should be grieving over him. He was my father, after all. And then another part of me, the larger part, doesn't care at all. W male voice. Do I really feel anything? Any loss? It's strange. I feel nothing. That's such an awful way to feel about your father's death. But is it really? When was the last time I spoke to him? Maybe 4 years now? I'm not angry. I think the years have softened the anger. I'm just... Listen, okay? I'm trying to go in character. I read fast. Then when I gotta... Okay. I'm not angry. I think the years have softened the anger. I'm just apathetic, really. When I got to the call, it was almost like Mom was telling me about someone else's death. A stranger's. Your mother does seem badly affected. How's your mother holding up? I mean, we already kind of got some type of storyline from her, and she seemed very much not okay. It's like she had, well, obviously she said it's a family secret. So, I don't know how your mother I'm gonna just go with your mother does seem badly affected, because we know that for a fact. I don't want to ask something that I already know the answer to. Well, obviously, as a mother, you're going to try to hold it together for the kids, hold it together for yourself, because you want to not, it's a lot going on, and as if you know, you know. So it's kind of just like she's probably trying to comfort her kids, but also comfort herself in private, but appear strong. You know what I'm trying to say? So Mom is barely holding on, but she's not going to show us that as usual. See, I told y'all. I know. I know. It's amazing how she can grieve over him at all. She won't say a bad thing about him after all he's done. Part of the problem is how much she worries about us. That's how it's always been. That's part of the problem. That's why she hid the truth from us for so long, or so she thinks. I think she was mostly just hiding the truth about him from herself. You sense anger, even frustration in his thoughts. Daddy, what you was getting into? Were you a Rolling Stone? Shouldn't he be beside her, comforting her? But there seems to be some kind of distance between them, an abyss that is impossible to cross. He seems to click on your thoughts. As part of me does wish I could go to her, but where do we start? It's too far gone, and it's all because of him. Your mother alluded to something. What happened? What did your father do? Yeah, let's do that. Let's get straight to it. We ain't throwing no subtle hints over here. A buzzing fills the world, and his next thoughts are drowned in it. The world is fading away, a memory rising. You know this place. You have been here. Who you killed? A horrific image. She is deeply sad within. A measure of relief fills you. At least one of them is grieving. The man in the casket. Okay. Yet, looking at her fills you with unexpected and surprising sorrow. You want to reach out to her, hold her, tell her that all will be okay. But you know you can't do it. You don't even know her. Don't you? Don't you know her? Are you sure? Why does she invoke such grief in you? You want to ask her if she loved the man in the casket, but that should be a terrible thing to ask at a funeral. But it's a good question. Did she? Why are you here? And who are these people? And why does your not knowing the answer to these questions not bother you? In fact, now you feel very calm. Except for the ebbing and flowing under the tides of sorrow, you are mostly at peace. I'm so sorry. I see that his passing has hit you hard. I low-key want to hear I'm so sorry just for the sake of just seeing what happens or what somebody would say. I'm gonna just C. She sniffles and does not acknowledge your words. That should have struck you as rude, but it doesn't. I kind of figured nothing would come of that. That's why I didn't want to say it all the other times, but I feel like I should have definitely went with the other choice. I can't believe he's gone. I can't believe it. And suddenly, in such a terrible way, at least he didn't suffer. So did he get murdered, or did someone murder him? You get what I'm trying to say? You know, Mom said, "Oh, they from London." Mom said they body and see, look, I'm playing. Mom saw the body and she said his face, what was left of it, looked so peaceful, almost like he was sleeping. What did the mama do? It's the strangest thing. I never thought I'd feel this terrible, and now look at me. I guess it goes to show when he was alive, we barely talked, except for those occasions I called. I think I had hardened my heart to him. Maybe that's just what happened. I put up a wall, and now that he's dead, yes, that does happen sometimes. You seem affected, unlike Matthew over there. Matthew was probably hiding his own feelings from himself. He was always that way, even when we were kids. Growing up together, always hiding away from himself, lost in a cloud. Deep inside, he's probably hurting, and he's sticking to himself as usual. When I go over to him after service, he'll probably be stiff. What exactly did your father do? What exactly caused all this? What did he do? To think that it all goes back to that one moment, everything would have been different if only Dad had him. If only Dad had him. That's right, God. I couldn't. Okay, could somebody tell me? Okay. A burning sensation fills you with urgency. It is imperative for you to find out what happened to this family. What has broken them apart? Your very soul seems to depend on it. You find the woman, their mother, standing slumped. She stares off into the distance. I need to know what happened. Did your husband betray you? Because I feel like the husband betrayed her, but I also want to know what happened. It's kind of like you feel like you know what happened and you want to confirm it, or do you just want to? Because this is more of a statement. Did your husband betray you? Versus a question. Let's just go with it. Betrayal. What a strange thought. And yes, that's as good as a word as any of what he did. He'd been at it for years. I never even knew. But that's a lie, isn't it? I knew. Of course I knew. I knew, yet I didn't allow myself to know. I kept it closed secret because my biggest fear was that the children would find out. Was it another woman? Because they call you woman. Is there another one? I didn't want them to know what kind of man he was. And so I stayed quiet. Through all of those nights when he was away on his supposed business trips, late at work at meetings, I told the kids that their father was a busy man. He was busy, all right. And that was how it was, wasn't it? Dad's away, he's busy. He's busy earning a living. Busy, always busy. I saw him about once a week during school days and most weekends. He wasn't there. I guess it was normal for most rich kids. You got used to it. You went to school where everybody's dad was big shot. Was some big shot. Away most of the time. And we bought it. That's the awful part. We bought it hook, line, and sinker. Mom, Dad's going to miss out on PTA again. They want to see him. Your dad's busy, honey. He's a busy man. Until Princess, that's what he used to call me, Princess. I used to wait to see him, to get the gifts, the hugs. I would wait to smell his cologne. I used to wait for that. I loved him. We all did. And then when it happened, it all blew up in his face. Literally, probably. It happened. It had to happen. He'd been sleeping with too many women, you see. I knew it, mainly by coercion. It appeared the big CEO of a multinational corporation. It was bound to go wrong. You can't hide the truth forever. That horrid woman, Laura, that awful phone call, she spilled it out. And then other women came forward in his workplace. That whole Me Too movement thing. Harassment. I tried even then to hide it, but what boy has to live with something like that? Going to school, 8th grade, your dad's name in every paper. Me too. Wow. Wow. They crucified me. Even those teachers, they screwed with me in front of the whole class. Son of a rapist, molester junior. The names kept coming. Now that ain't right. That ain't right. Now why y'all do Matthew like that? That ain't even right. Matthew ain't do nothing. It was the daddy. Okay? Okay, y'all. Matthew, it is okay, my love. I'm sorry for talking about you earlier. Okay, I didn't know. As long as you're not doing nothing crazy. Let's keep it that way. But as a child, y'all really came at Matthew like that. Little baby Matthew. I think that's when Matthew began shutting us out, and all the stories started coming together. What Dad was really up to, all those business trips, what they actually were, and Mom tried to protect them from it till the very end. She never told us the truth. He was a liar. That's what he was. Very sinister man here. This story is not going how I thought it was about to go. I figured it was another woman, but I didn't know he was being a douche, a perv, a harasser. 6 months. That's how long it took to lose everything. After he lost his job, the house, the fancy perks, the kids had to leave the private school, and then what, woman? After they got a divorce, it was over for us. Matthew couldn't wait to leave home when he finished college, and I don't blame him. He never looked back once. He never forgave them, either of them. Do you forgive her? It wasn't your mother's fault. I'm not going to necessarily say it wasn't my mother's fault, but she definitely could have handled the situation better. She definitely could have packed up and left. I feel like she probably was relying on his funds, so she was like, So I'm asking you to forgive her. It wasn't Mom's fault, but we were just kids, and she didn't know how to deal with the fallout. The relatives, now that is a big word for Elmo. Let's try it, guys. Let's try it. The haranguing, the press. She shut us out too. Do you forgive him? I want to forgive, but he ruined our lives. All of our lives for something so cheap, for sex. You stand before her and you feel a terrible sense of shame. And of course, you know why. You knew from the beginning. You knew who is in there. The dead body that lies within was once yours. You douche. They weep. They stand apart. They are broken because of you. And you broke them. Exactly. I ain't gonna lie, this look like somebody, but I'm not gonna say who, but I feel like if you know, you know. And that's it. Okay. That's it. Let's quit. All right. That was a very quick, simple, easy. I really wouldn't call this a game. It was very interactive, like the creator said it would be. So it was more like a story. Hopefully y'all can bear with my my narrating. Listen, okay, next time I'm gonna do way better. I definitely played games with this reading this time around. I'm not gonna lie, because your girl read books, and I don't understand why. I think it was performance anxiety. I was struggling, but yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed this video. It was very short, I know, but yeah, maybe the next game that I pick will be more interactive for you all, so we can have some more fun and not so story based. But nonetheless, that was it. Make sure y'all subscribe. If y'all haven't, make sure y'all thumbs up the video. Y'all know what to do. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.